Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SA Accounting Academy. Here's a short clip on one of our previous webinars. I hope that you really do enjoy it.
I've got the right handle on technology. So, yep, I can see that this has been recorded. So allow me just to start again. Good morning, South Africa. It's just always a great honor and privilege to be able to share thoughts, ideas, strategies about how to better manage your accountancy business. So the title of today's workshop seminar is Networking to Grow My Personal and Professional Brand. You'll see that I have called it something slightly different, but I promise you, this is the seminar about networking. And you know what? I cannot think of a more amazing day to talk about networking. And the reason I say that is because I live in the United Kingdom, and right now in the city of Glasgow, Scotland, there is the biggest networking event taking place. And maybe, probably, I hope, the most important event for the world. And I hope, believe, and pray that somehow it provides a turning point for future generations as the 25,000 delegates who are meeting in Glasgow at COP26 try to address the issues that we've all become accustomed to calling climate change. So networking must be going on in a massive way, 24/7, I suspect, in Glasgow. So back to South Africa, back to the accountancy world, and I'm promising you 2 hours of insight, perspective, challenge, and we're going to look holistically at networking, something which I rather suspect most of you are already engaged in. But allow me in these 2 hours to see if I can sharpen, see if I can help you develop and enhance your networking for the benefit of you and for the benefit of your clients. But first of all, for those of you that have been drawn to this session because of the title, as opposed to wanting to listen to somebody from the United Kingdom, just let me give you my background. I started life and qualified as a chartered accountant with a firm called Deloitte in Southampton on the south coast. I'd always, deep inside of me, had this passion that I wanted to be an owner of my own business. And so eventually I started at the age of 27, my own accountancy business. And truthfully, the first day that I started in business, I thought, oh my gosh, what have I done? I'd been used to working with some of the largest public companies in the United Kingdom. And suddenly here I was, I'd achieved my dream. And as I sat in the converted bedroom in my house in Bristol, England, I wondered if I'd condemned myself to a life that was going to be meaningless. And so, truthfully, networking has helped me build businesses. I've built 2 global businesses and one here in the United Kingdom called Practice Track, and one of its subsidiaries, which was called Practiceware. So this is the first thing I want to say to you. I understand accountants. I've been an accountant all my life. I've only ever worked with accountants. Numerous times people have said to me, oh, you could do this for lawyers and all this sort of stuff. But you know what? I understand you. You understand me if you know that I've only ever worked with accountants. And I want to promise you, I've done everything I can to keep up to date, to be at the leading edge. So in the same way that Ronaldo at Manchester United, and for those of you that aren't into football, forgive me, but I suspect most of you have heard of Ronaldo. Ronaldo, you know, one of the great players of this age, and Mo Salah in Liverpool, probably the best player in the world right now. They have coaches. Those coaches aren't as good as them. but they're helping those players to get better. So please allow me, as your coach, to come alongside you for maybe just a couple of hours this morning. So the journey that we're going to go on through for 2 hours, I have somewhere, I think, in the region of 90 minutes worth of sharing. Might be 10 minutes less, it might be 10 minutes more. But the first promise I give you is that by 12 o'clock, we will finish. But what I also promise you is if you care to use your chat box in anticipation of me answering questions that you pose, I'd be only too privileged to see if I can explore your questions and maybe give you some answers. So by now you've gathered that having built up my own accountancy practice, I built up a publishing company called Practice Track, which was the UK's leading provider of marketing materials for accountants, such as budget reports, tax cards, newsletters, firm brochures. And incidentally, I built that company and became the UK's largest by networking in the delivery of seminars. Interestingly, my first ever seminar to accountants was in Glasgow, and my seminar was called Going for Growth. And I met people there. They listened to my one-day marketing seminar, and many of them became customers for the various paper products that I was publishing. And then one day, and if you've started your own accountancy business, I suspect you'll know and relate to what I'm sharing. I woke up early in the morning after only 3 hours sleep, and I never went back to sleep again. I was worried in 1998, with the word on the street being that in the future, everything would be done on the internet. And I had built up a paper publishing company. And in those 5 or 6 hours before my wife finally came down to say, "Where were you?" I had conceived what is acknowledged as the world's first shared content system. And Practice Web has become the UK's largest provider of delivering websites with content for accountants here in the UK. So I sold all those businesses and became a consultant. And I'd like you to know that as a consultant, I'm only ever 65% correct. So, do you know, as you listen to me this morning, please understand, I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm just asking you to take seriously what I say based on my research experience and the life I've lived in building up 3 leading edge companies. But ultimately, the only purpose of this event is that you decide what you know, what you understand, what you believe, and what you're going to go and do. So I'm going to try and break this morning down into 3 distinct sessions. The first one will just be me sharing a few thoughts and insights. And then I'm going to switch on some slides, and we're going to be talking about what you have to offer. And we're going to be talking about some very specific networking strategies. In total, by the end of this event at 12 o'clock, or if you're listening to this recording, by the time you get to 2 hours, you will, I think, have got some inspiration, some perspiration, and some ideas of what you could do next. Having said that, I understand that ever since this killer of a pandemic descended upon us, many of us have retreated to our homes and been working from home. And I understand that maybe networking is not something you've been able to do, but the tipping point in March 2020 was that we all were able to go online and meet people just the same as you're meeting me this morning. And so let me just share a few thoughts. It's probably a fair idea to start perhaps with a definition. Importantly, having considered what networking is, we were going to look at how to improve your networking as the owner of your accountancy business? So go on then. First of all, a definition.
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.